Hello and welcome to Gapeys Garden. After my last fig update, I decided to take inventory of my fig trees, and to my surprise, I've got 51 fig trees, which is a little more than I was expecting. I've decided to get rid of a few, and I'll show you which ones I decided to get rid of and the reasons why. I still have them right now, but I do have someone coming over later today to take a look and hopefully take a few of these off of my hands. But it's gotten to be just too many figs for me to take care of. I've got a full-time job and a big garden, and I just don't have time to keep them fertilized, root pruned, and everything that's needed for mostly the container figs. The ones in ground, they really don't need much care at all other than some pruning over winter. So those are fine. I'm going to be keeping those in the ground for now, but some of my potted trees are going to be going. I've got all of my figs lined up here that I'm looking to get rid of. Getting rid of these will put me down to 40 trees, which is still a lot, but I think it's going to be a little more manageable than the 51 that I have now. So let's take a look and see what we have. This first one here is Old Yeller. This is one I got from Ivy Organics a few years ago. I don't have much information about it, but I do know that I've got two of these and I really only need one. So I'm getting rid of this one for that reason. I've also not gotten the ripe fruit off of it yet. So I'm going to keep the other one that I have just for a few more years maybe. And if I still don't get any ripe figs, I will get rid of that as well. Next we've got I-258, and this is actually one of my favorite tasting figs of all time. But I've got two of these as well, and it has not been producing either, so I've decided to just keep the one and maybe give it more fertilizer next year, and hopefully we can get a few figs off of it. And then this one here is Burgessot Grease. This is another one I've got two of. I decided to keep the one that I have in the 7-gallon pot and get rid of the one here that's in the 5-gallon. Some of these have already lost all of their leaves, like this one, but they are still alive. And then we've got this one here that was labeled as Kathleen's Black, and it is not Kathleen's Black. It's one that I posted a video on a few years ago trying to identify what it is, and it seems to be either Latarula or White Marseille. It's actually a pretty tasty fig, but since I've already got the Latarula in ground and it produces over 100 figs for me, I really don't need this one. Now this one here is Brandon Street Unknown. I was considering keeping this one, but ultimately I decided to get rid of it. It is a light berry fig, and it is probably my tallest fig tree that I have, and it probably does need to be pruned back down just to get some rejuvenation on it, but it hasn't really produced this year. I'm not sure why. Probably just needs more root pruning, and probably should be cut down a little bit more, and maybe that will help make it more vigorous next year. This one here is the JFE Black Madeira, and it's a pretty good looking tree, and it has lots of figs on it, but this variety is a super late variety, and it requires a pretty good head start, and I'm just not interested in giving it the head start that it needs. So I decided I'm just going to get rid of it. I only have one of these, and even though it's like a top-notch fig, it just requires too much babying in order to get it to ripen. Now these last ones are younger trees that are in a little bit smaller containers. The ones I've shown so far are in 5-gallon pots, and these ones are in about 2.5 to 3-gallon pots. So this first one is the Improved Celeste. So this is another one I've got two of. I decided to keep one and get rid of this one here. And it does have one fig on it that did not ripen. And we've got back here, this is a Ischia Black, and it's a pretty good looking tree. It's got a few figs on it that did not ripen, but this was one I've got two of, so I've decided to get rid of that one because I really don't need two of those. And then I've got Santa Cruz Dark here, another good looking fig tree that's got a few figs still on it, but this one is a melon flavored fig, and I really don't really care for those type of fig flavors, so I've decided to just get rid of that. It's the only one I have, and I'm not going to miss it. And then we've got this one here that is the Red Lebanese Baca Valley. I've got two of those as well, and decided to keep one and get rid of the other. And then this last one is Stella. This is one I got several years ago, and it really just hasn't grown that much. Now I did give it kind of a rejuvenation prune here. I cut that off there, and it decided to get some new growth over here, which it hasn't really grown much more than that in a year. So I don't know. I don't really care for that one since it hasn't produced any fruit for me. So a good majority of these I am getting rid of because I have 2 of them. Now I do still have a few figs that I've got 2 of, and decided to keep 2 of those because they are really some of my favorite figs. These ones here are really nothing special and not very productive, so that's why I'm getting rid of some of the duplicates of these particular ones. And who knows, I'll probably end up getting a few fig cuttings this winter to add more to my collection next year. Hope you enjoyed the little tour to see what I'm getting rid of and why. If you have any questions or have any suggestions of figs that I should grow in the Pacific Northwest that aren't melon figs, let me know what some of your favorites are. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.